Ooh. Hello, everybody. So, same thing. We're trying to get to Boss Rush and Mother. I think we're probably going to be trying to get to Mother for D4. Honestly, I might take the D4 for the simple fact that I have also had it give me some really fucking funny items that sometimes work out really, really, really well. So I am actually going to take the D4. I don't have any items right now, because it's my first item. But once I get one from the boss room, once I get a stack of items, like 2 or 3 items, you betcha we're gonna be grabbing that. We're gonna be using the D4. A couple times. I guarantee it won't be the first time that we get something really good. But you can sometimes get some really funky, really funny item combinations because of it. We have an exploding spider that also drops 3 troll bombs. Now we're facing Ragman. Oh, you prick. Alright, we've got health up. We're gonna go down. Bada bing, bada boom. Bye-bye. Good morning, Isaac Player. I apologize I'm on so late. We had a bunch of stuff to get ready for the wedding today as well that I was unaware of, sadly. So that is sadly why I'm so late today. Making today's stream gonna be a little bit shorter. I'm probably only going to be going till about noon my time, which is basically 2 hours instead of the more normal 4 that I like to do. All good. I woke up 30 minutes ago. Perfect. Oh, you... Hello, Terry Faze. Thank you for the follow. Give me 2 seconds, guys. I found a bot. I've never understood that. People that are like, oh yeah, they'll make a bunch of like bot accounts or like shit like that, like bot accounts, and they'll follow you, but then they like don't fucking do anything. So stupid. Like, what are you trying to accomplish with that? Get me to add you on Discord? Why would I add someone on Discord who's using bot accounts? I mean, besides the obvious reason that they're either a scammer or just trying to, like, sell you shit. But that's one thing that I've tried to make pretty clear to, I mean, as many people as I possibly can. If it's a bot or if you're trying to, like, sell me something, i.e. solicitation or anything like that. Ooh, Meat Cleaver's kind of a funny item, but not very useful to me. Would you kindly stop fucking shooting me? Ooh, Infestation 2 can also go really hard. I just think it's kind of silly, though. Like, it's like, I don't want to buy your shit. If I was going to buy something, don't you think it would already be bought? Like, someone who's really, like, that's the thing that I don't understand. Is, like, you get so many people that are like, I'm a visual artist. Like, do you want to, like, buy any of my artwork for your stream? And it's like, you know what? I appreciate that, like, you're probably trying to just make a living. Like, I do appreciate that. I'm not blind to the fact that you're probably just trying to make a living. However, it drives me insane because so many of those people are just... Baby! That could have been bad. I really can't fucking hit this guy. Ooh, we might be fucking dead here. Hello there. General Kenobi. Thank you for just dying. 4 HP! How are you doing, Panda? I haven't seen you in a little bit. Oh, just as a heads up, Panda, I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow, as I have a wedding that I need to be at. Mostly for the shits and giggles. I want to get a couple more items, and then I'm just gonna keep rolling the D4 until I get something interesting. I shall attempt to. I don't know how the wedding is going to go, if I'm going to be completely honest. I like both people who are in the wedding. Obviously, I like the bride and I like the groom. They're very wonderful people. But I don't know them very well. I also don't really know, like, outside of, like, the immediate family, which is, like, Megan's, parents and my partner's parents. Like, that's really it. And the groom's parents. Like, that's really it. Like, I don't know anybody else there. And, like, the obvious, like family, like, basically I know immediate family, which is fine, but in reality, I don't really know them. They're just, like, they're barely acquaintances to me. So, I don't really know how that's gonna go. It's gonna be interesting. Honestly, I'm just gonna go with this one, because I know it's another... You know what? Fuck it, we're gonna do the first one now. You know what? Nails is not a bad start to this. Ouch. And we got breakfast. I just need HP. Yeah, it's just kind of like one of those weird things where it's like, I know a lot of the people there, like I know them by name, but I don't really know them per se. And that always is kind of weird for me. Or I'm just fucking dead, okay. I did that all while still having a full health pill, I realized. Like an absolute fucking moron. I don't think the wedding is going to go bad at all. Like I don't think that anything like bad or untoward is going to happen. I just don't know how much I'm going to participate in it. For lack of a better term, just because I don't know anybody. That and this kind of like this side of the family, or this kind of grouping of the family, they tend to be partiers. They very much enjoy their loud music and drinking and dancing, and like that's fine. It's a wedding. That's kind of expected to happen. But that's also like not really my scene. A lot of the weddings that I've been to that I've really truly enjoyed, obviously there's been like dancing and lots of music and like that sort of thing, but it tends to be a little bit more low-key in the sense of like most everyone will have like their like 2 or 3 glasses of wine, and then, you know, that's it. Right, that's really as much as you need. And then like everyone's like still cognizant, like they can still function. And to me, that's also a very, very big thing. It's like, if someone walks up to me drunk, it's like, okay, fine. Right? Like, I get it. But, like, if you walk up to me and you can't even formulate a sentence, like, at that point in time, I'm just like, dude, like, just, what the hell are you doing? Like, go home. Now, do I think that's gonna happen? I think it's gonna happen with a couple people. For sure. But, I don't know. We will see. I once had a brain-eating amoeba. Poor fella died of hunger. You know, my father used to say something like that. My father used to walk up to us kids and he'd put his, like, hand on the top of our head and, like make, like, this fucking motion. And be like, what's this? And, like, all of us young kids would be like, I don't know. He'd be like, it's a brain sucker. And he was like, do you know what it's doing? And we were like, what? He was like, it's starving. It's like, thanks, Dad. Frickin' asshole. Why do these tiny little Duke of Flies pieces of shit have so much health? I'm gonna do that with my future inexistent? You mean unexistent? Hello, Stool. How you doing? Non-existent. I think he's trying to say that it's very unlikely that it will ever happen. Did we crash? Why the fuck are we crashing? This is now my internet crashing. And I don't know why. What the heck just happened? A fellow Nero enjoyer. I have no idea what that means. I'll stop giving Twitch coffee. He keeps shitting himself, literally. That's the sad part too, is a lot of this has actually been Twitch. Like, I don't know what's been going on recently, but I've like been reading a little bit, like just on Reddit and stuff, and like there's a lot of it where people are like, yeah, like Twitch has just been like absolutely shitting the bed for them. It's like I don't get what's going on. Like, also guys, can I please get some fucking damage? My lord. Server hamster's probably taking a break. Honestly, it's very possible. You know what's one thing that I really wish they'd have implemented into Maggie? If she had the reverse Samson power. So like the more red hearts she had full health, the more damage she gained. Because it would strive for you to, like take red HP and, like, not lose it, right? But then if you're trying to not lose it, you'd get devil deals, right? If you're trying to not lose red HP. So then, as soon as you take a devil deal, you lose some of your damage, right? Because you don't have all those red hearts anymore. But in return, you'd still kind of get some damage from, like, one of the items. So it would be, like, this very awkward, like, trade-off of, like, trying to figure out, like, what's worth it, what's not. Right? And then the Yum Heart would be like, okay, I can gain a little bit more damage. Right? And then, like, you're frantically trying to do this. But the thing is, Soul Hearts wouldn't help you. Like, that's the thing that I would want, is, like, Soul Hearts not to help you with that. So that you couldn't just go, like, full Soul Heart build and just, you know, raffle stomp your way to victory. It would also make, getting, like, Lusty Blood or, like, Rage or whatever it is, like the Samson ability that you can pick up, it would make it meaningless because you'd lose damage based on how much health you'd gain damage based on how much health you lost, but you'd also lose damage based on how much health you lost, so it would just like nullify it, so it would just make it would make that item completely useless. I don't even know who you guys are talking about when you say this person enjoyer. Who is this person? I'm gonna assume a VTuber. Also, can I ask... Panda, please explain to him. I don't feel like trying to explain. I'm assuming it's either a VTuber or some, like, anime-esque character from a video game or an actual anime. Get this little ghosty bitch out of here. Oh, that's super cool. That's funny, actually. But my guess is that is programmed in. Oh my god. Ooh, we have a 71% chance at a devil deal, so we could take that if we get money to do it. Which could be really good. I'd come back for Yumheart, for sure. I mean, that makes sense. If you were to make something that was truly like what we call quote-unquote AI, which is more... I don't know, I have a very large problem with like the terminology that we use towards like AI and AI in general, because it's not an AI. It is not an artificial intelligence. It's a cognitive... It's essentially a cognitive learning bot. Ah, shit. I can't take this anyway. Yeah, I'm not gonna take it. I mean, I'm gonna try and find the, enough money to do it. Right? But so many people are like, oh, it's AI. No, it's a cognitive learning software. It can learn and like track what's going on and try and figure out what's going on, but it's not intelligent. Intelligence is creativity and problem solving, and without prior like teaching, essentially. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. Right? Because I like to believe that I'm a pretty good problem solver. However, if I'm a pretty good problem solver, that does not mean I'm going to... I got distracted and started talking and got shit on with such a good combination. Oh, definitely a skill issue. Definitely not me just being fucking distracted by chat. Eh. I'm not really worried about it. I'm gonna be real with you. My thoughts truly are, if we ever get an independent AI or like an actual true AI, we're not going to know it. Oh baby. I think that it is going to enter the internet at some point in time, and we are never going to know. Even the person that develops it is not really going to know. Oh yeah, it's going to be somebody who wants something like that they can contend with and talk to. No. I'm not taking that little bastard, because I fight for my money enough already. But my honest to God opinion is that it's not going, like, they're not going to know that it has become truly independent and cognizant. Also, Panda, I have a serious question. And this is something that I kind of, like, I was thinking about a little while ago. So you always talk about how, like, VTubing makes the playing field more even because everyone is attractive. Correct? Like, that's like your stance. So, my question then is, do you actually find all the VTubers that you watch or listen to or whatever, do you actually find them attractive? Specifically physically attractive? Because that's kind of what we've been, like, hitting on. I'm not, that yep was for your opinion. How is that proof of your theory?
Luck down. Shot speed down. Health down.
Explain to me how that's proof of your theory. Because for that to be... No, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, is so, like, the way aesthetics works in the human brain doesn't work like that. I did a bunch of research on this. And I'm not trying to disprove your opinion. Just, I'm putting that out there right now. I'm not trying to disprove your opinion, but I actually did a bunch of research on this, because I was curious about, like, why people find, like, VTubers and, like, things like that more, like, physically attractive than not physically attractive. And it actually has nothing to do, with a lot of the time, with physical appearance. It has nothing to do with aesthetics. Most of the time, what people find attractive about VTubers, at least by the study that I was reading. Okay, but here's what I'm getting at. Is most of the people that find VTubers, like, physically attractive aren't, they did some research on this. They didn't actually find them physically attractive. They found the fabrication attractive. So the lore, the made up shit, the way that they interact with people, is what they found more attractive and more entertaining and yada 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 yada. So in reality, it has nothing to do with the physical characteristics of it. It has everything to do with the random made-up shit. And it's just... Okay, but it's not. It's the made-up shit. It's the fake not fake persona, but the fake, the model doesn't matter. So then the physical person shouldn't matter either, whether they have a face cam or not, with that logic. Because there are people that I enjoy watching on Twitch that I definitely do not find attractive. No, not exactly. So more of what I'm actually trying to get at is a lot of... No, he's not. No, I think... So what I'm trying to get at... Sorry. I should... Start over. What I'm trying to get at is... If people are like, oh, I find this VTuber physically attractive. I don't know who... Because I can't really think of any VTubers off the top of my head. It's a kid. Yeah, exactly. Right? But here's the thing. Like, so many of the VTubers that I've seen, it's all, like, especially for female VTubers, it's all fucking jiggle physics and, like, all that stuff. Okay, so that still brings in the thing of, like, it's aesthetically pleasing, which is what physical attraction is for humans. Like humans, like, if you look at a human's face and it's perfectly symmetrical, your brain goes, that's more attractive. But they're not. Not all of them are aesthetically pleasing, because it's still based off of what your opinions are on aesthetically pleasing things. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, here we go. Let's look at, like, the difference between, like, Monarch, Bao, and Shy Lily. All three of those all three of those people have relatively, by a lot of people's standards, aesthetically pleasing models. I find none of their models aesthetically pleasing. True. But what I'm trying to say, that's what I'm trying to say, Panda, is attraction factors into it no matter what. It doesn't matter what you do. Aesthetically pleasing things will always attract more attention than non-aesthetically pleasing things. Whether it's a human face, whether it's a body type, whether it's a VTuber model, whether it's a painting, whether it's a sculpture. Like, that's what I was trying to get at. Is aesthetics and... Why not? Why can you not say that about a person? I'm asking that curiously. I'm not asking that to be like a dickhead. I'm genuinely curious. Why can you not say that about a person but you can say it about a model. But it's how your brain works. It activates the exact same neurons. I'm not saying that you will. Have you ever looked at someone and gone, like, here's a great example. I can acknowledge that a man is attractive, but I am not the slightest bit gay or bisexual or any sort of like attraction whatsoever. But I can acknowledge that someone looks good. Right? I can acknowledge that they are aesthetically pleasing to the eye. The same way you can do that with women. Right? Another woman can look at a woman, have no attraction to them whatsoever, and go, that person looks good. Right? And I'll be even more straightforward about it. I can do that with other women, too. I love my partner. I think she is the most attractive human being on the planet. Right? But I can still see another, like, woman in a movie, TV show, fucking walking down the street and go, they look good. I don't have any attraction to them, but they have put themselves together, like, really well. And, like, I give them kudos for that. That's what I'm trying to get at. Is, like, humans always function around, like physical and sexual attraction functions almost solely on certain things. One of those things being aesthetics. Whether we like admitting it or not. And I mean that like as everybody, like as a race of people. Someone murder that bot. Thank you, Panda. Also, Panda, I please... Okay, and why can't you say that? I'm genuinely curious. Like, this is like this part of neurology I find amazingly fascinating. Like, I'm actually curious about this. I have no... Okay, but what makes it so you can't? Like, that's the thing. Like, there is something in your skull, in your psyche, that tells you that you can't say that Arnold Schwarzenegger is an aesthetically pleasing human being. Your brain just goes unattractive. End of statement. Okay. Why does it go unattractive? Is it because you are not sexually attracted to that person? And again, I'm being serious. I'm not trying to be... Okay. I'm not trying to be a dickhead at all. Like, this is something that I really find fascinating. Sometimes things are just simply the way they are. And that's totally fair. Things are allowed to be that way. Things are allowed to be unknown. And that might be... See, and here's the really cool part. That might be, Panda, why you have your opinion about VTubers in the first place. Right? Is because you can't differentiate between those two things. To you, they're the same thing. Which is fine. A lot of people are like that. But you can't compartmentalize two separate things like that, right? Like, to you, attractive is also aesthetically pleasing. right? Like, they're one and the same, right? The same way. Like, I also have a huge issue that I have is huge rules for me and not for thee kind of issue. Yeah, okay. So here's another thought for you, Panda. And this is something that I want you to actually, like, think about before you answer and like try and digest, because this is something that I find really, really cool, and it's a fun thought experiment. Okay. And ironically speaking, actually, you might be actually be in probably the most interesting position to think about this. Oh man, that's such a weird thing to think about. You might actually be in the most interesting position to think about this. First off, I'm going to ask your permission for something, Panda, because I do not want to throw this out on you. Are you okay with me using your partner as an example for a thought experiment? If not, that is A-okay. I promise it is not going to be a degrading thought experiment whatsoever. It's just... Stream got super choppy for a moment. Okay. I said, would you be okay with me using, like, your partner as the subject of the thought experiment? Because I apologize for this, but you are in a very unique position for this. If not, totally fine. I'll just use Joe Schmo. And it'll work. If your question is, do I find her attractive physically? Sorry. If your question is, do I find her attractive physically as of now while she hasn't undergone hormone therapy? No, I do not. At the same time, her personality completely overrules that attraction. Okay, so here's the thing. Yes! Yes, I love this! So, this was a question that was posed as a thought experiment. I can't remember where I read this, and I'm really mad. I'll try and find it and put it in the Discord, because it was super, super interesting. If you took your partner, because it was trying to draw the line between... So it's not exactly that question. Okay? So, it's not that exact question, but here's the thought experiment, okay? So, it was trying to draw the line between attraction and love versus sexual attraction versus psychological attraction versus emotional attraction. Okay, because there's technically 3 different types of attraction. There's sexual attraction, emotional attraction, and psychological attraction. Or mental attraction. Like, you're attracted to their intelligence, their way of communicating, their everything like that. Right? Emotional is obvious, right? Do they fill your emotional needs, right? And then sexual is obvious too. I most definitely was not. I love this shit. One of my family friends, she's a very, very close family friend. She has her PhD in neurology. Like, her job is literally cutting up brains and scanning them and mapping them. So I learn a lot of this shit. Whether I want to or not. So, that was the question. So there's 3 types of attraction, right? Physical, emotional, psychological. Physical, emotional, psychological. Right? And when I say physical, that is inherently sexual attraction. Okay, we're gonna leave it at that right now. We're gonna just leave it in the 3 base categories because that's much easier for most people's brains to just chunk down. Okay, so physical attraction, i.e. sexual attraction. Do they look good? Do you find them physically attractive? Right? Do they cause you to feel arousal in some way, shape, or form? Okay? Because humans, as a species, only need 2 of the 3 things to be met. Okay? We need 1 of those 3 things to be met. Or 2 of those 3 things to be met. To technically for our brain to have the activation to release the chemicals to create the emotional pack bonding mechanic of love. Okay? Are we following with my weird kind of strung out logic? So, if you inherently feel 2 of these 3 things towards somebody, fair. So here's the whole thought experiment. Okay? You need 1 of these 3 things to be added into it. Or 2 of these 3 things to be added in. Are they sexually attractive? Are they psychologically attractive? Are they mentally attractive? And are they emotionally attractive? Yeah, and like that's why I'm trying to like keep it to the 3, because each one of these 3 has like 7 or 8 different things attached to it. These 3 are an umbrella. Right? Each one of these is an umbrella for a much larger, broader topic. Right? I'm just trying to keep it as the 3, because then it's just plain and simple. Alright, so with those 3 things, we talk about how humans are... You can be attracted to something emotionally and psychologically, but maybe you don't want to have sex with the thing or the person. I say thing, I apologize, guys, when I start talking like this. When I say thing, I mean people. Well, sort of. Why? Give me 2 seconds. I want to see what is causing this to be so fucking unstable. I'm going to tell you guys right now. There we go. I found the problem. My overclock settings hadn't kicked in. Okay, so we're talking about how like how people like factor in attraction. All right? So, if I find someone emotionally attractive and psychologically attractive, but I don't find them sexually attractive, i.e. physically attractive, right? What does that make that person? To me, what does that make that person? And this is a genuinely, like, curious question, right? What do the people in chat think that makes someone to me? Psychological and emotional. Man, I wish Moonglow was in here, because I feel like the whole system itself would have, like, some really interesting thoughts on this. Exactly, it creates someone to trust, or a close friend, right? Or a platonic life partner. Whichever one whatever you want to call them, right? A best friend, whatever it is. Right? What happens when you find someone sexually attractive or physically attractive and emotionally attractive but not mentally attractive? So here's something that I found. So no. Please keep going with this thought. Okay. If your partner isn't your best friend, you're doing it wrong. I agree. I agree with the sentiment. Okay. But that's why if you want to find a true lifetime partner, all three of them need to be matched. But most people in a relationship do not find all three. That's the thing I'm trying to get at. Okay, you just hit the nail on the head much faster than I was planning on getting there. Okay, because if you find someone physically attractive and emotionally attractive but not mentally attractive, okay, you're going to have some issues no matter what, right? Like if I was dating somebody, and this is going to sound really terrible, and please do not take this statement with a grain of salt. Okay, if I was dating somebody that was much dumber than me, or had a much lower IQ than me, right? I would have a very hard time maintaining a relationship with that person, because to me, I've got nothing to talk about, because I think in these very broad, very scientific terminology. I use big fucking words, and I think in very, large concepts. Right? Does that mean that I can't teach them stuff? No. Not at all, right? But even then, there's a connection mentally, because I'm word vomiting my knowledge at this person, and they're trying to absorb it in their own way, right? This is I'm literally describing the relationship I have with my partner right now, right? But it goes both ways between me and my partner, because I am extremely academically smart, but I am stupid, absolutely freaking stupid, when it comes to social interaction, when it comes to, picking up cues or dealing with things that are, taxes, financing, budgeting, anything to do with, functioning in the real world, I am dog shit at. Okay? Building a house. I'm helping them build a house. I'm helping her and her father build a house. I know jack shit about building a house. Nothing. Zilch. Nada. Okay, and that's the idea. Like, that's the common idea, right? There's still a mental connection there, even if you're just mentally and verbally sparring with each other. There's still a mental connection. I'm talking there's absolutely no mental connection whatsoever. That's just dumb. I'm sorry. That's just someone who's full of shit and doesn't want a relationship to be stable or whatever. Fair. And some people are just like that, and it's sad, but it's true. Anyway, point that I was trying to get at is, so let's say I'm full of shit. Yeah, but you're a different kind of full of shit. Okay, so we figured out that relationship is not going to be stable for the simple fact that you don't have someone to mentally spar with. And you're honestly how humans work, and it's sad to say it. It's sad to say it. That's actually one of the things that leads to a lot of infidelity in long-term relationships. Is that the people don't have a mental connection. They don't share the same, like, certain thought processes. And it causes them to feel unseen by their partner. So they search for that mental connection elsewhere. Sometimes it's between them and a friend, and they can get by with that. They can have an emotional connection with their partner and a sexual connection with their partner or physical connection with their partner, and not need to have the mental connection because they have the mental connection with, say, their best friend. Right? Some part of that still works, but it's not going to be perfect. Right? And what do you get when you have people who are mentally compatible and sexually compatible, but not emotionally compatible at all? As it would with most people, in reality. Yes! So here's the thing. Relationships that are mentally compatible and sexually compatible have a better chance of lasting than ones that are psychologically and emotionally compatible and sexually compatible, but not mentally compatible. And I'm gonna talk about this in a second, but why do you guys think that? And it's probably one of the most interesting things. So when I say emotionally compatible, I mean that they like, because you can be mentally compatible with somebody. So you can be mentally compatible with somebody and feel a certain level of love or attraction or whatever towards them. Right? Because you only need two of those things to feel emotional love, or even chemical love, if you want to call it that. You need mental and physical, mental and psychological, physical and psychological. Any combination of those three things in pairs of two will cause your brain to make that chemical bonding. I feel like I've lost you completely. Panda, I'm very sorry. Ow. Fuck me! I'm just giving myself the knife. I'm getting too So, here's the thing that's really interesting to me, specifically. So, if someone is physically attracted to another person, it's not on my end this time. Okay, so because Panda, you're a perfect example of this, because you only have a combination of the two, right? You've stated you do not find your partner very physically attractive at the moment, correct? And if I'm wrong, if I've misunderstood your statement, please, like, say it so that I'm not, like, screwing something up. Also, I'm picking this. That I can do boss rush. Okay, sorry, needed to fix something. No, and see, here's the thing. I get what you're talking about. I kind of understand what you're talking about. Okay? So here's the thing that I'm trying to get at with all of this. Okay? And that's the thing that I'm trying to get at, is there is still some physical attraction, right? So having all three of those things fits, right? It means it could very easily be a relatively stable relationship. Ooh, nice. So, sorry, I stopped my rant there for a second. So the reason that people who have a mental attraction and a physical attraction are more likely to last longer in a relationship versus people who have a a physical attraction and an emotional one is for the simple fact that two people who are not mentally attracted to, who are not super emotionally attracted to each other, but are mentally attracted to each other and sexually attracted to each other, that doesn't mean that they're emotionless. They can still empathize. They can still empathize with their partner, but they do it on a logical scale and that sort of thing rather than an emotional scale. I am a very good example of this. I do not think emotionally, ever. And it's actually something that bothers a lot of people around me. I do not think emotionally. Ever. I think clinically and logically at all points in time. And I will admit, it makes people uncomfortable. It's basically the point that I'm getting at is attraction and like aesthetics and like everything that we've been talking about it's so nuanced and so like wacky that it can be very interesting. Because I have friends, like I have one specific friend that I can think of that is no, dude, that's totally chill. I ain't asking you to answer everything perfectly. I'm asking you because it's a fun conversation to have, to talk about how human brains work, essentially. Because some people are much more weighted towards sexual attraction than they are towards other things as well, right? Some people don't really care about mental attraction. They don't really care whether they're smarter than their partner or not, or dumber than their partner or not. They just don't, right? It's just not how their brain works, right? I do, but that's because I value intelligence. And some people just genuinely do not. They just really don't care whether you're intelligent or not. They'd much rather think of you as physically attractive and you're there to comfort them when they're having an emotional breakdown. No, and that's what I'm saying. I understand that. I 110% understand that. And that's what I'm saying. Is part of your issue, I think, Panda, or not, issue's the wrong term. Part of your thing, Panda, is you value emotional compatibility and mental compatibility over sexual and physical compatibility. Not to say that you find sexual not to say that you find physical attraction anathema or something that you don't understand or don't care for. but the other two are weighted more heavily in your brain. Which also might lead to the way that you think about how aesthetics and attraction can't be the same thing. Because to you, they're different things. Or, sorry, to you they're the same thing because you don't put a lot of value in it in the first place. Or you put less value in it in the first place. So you haven't, your brain doesn't think that it needs to. It doesn't think about, oh, you know, I should figure out how to define the difference between physically attractive and aesthetically pleasing. To you, they're the same thing, because you weigh them less than you weigh emotional and psychological attraction. Whereas someone like me, and I'm A-okay with saying this, and that's the whole point that I'm getting at with the neurology, is we can think about them differently. Humans as a species and as like basically a bundle of neurons driving a meat mech are able to differentiate those things mentally and psychologically. We're able to differentiate between sexual attraction and aesthetics. However, our brain, the neurons in our skull, cannot. The neurons in our skull just have the one signal. It goes click, bang. That is how that is supposed to work. It's a binary system. 1 and 0. That's how our brain works. Our brain is a fucking computer. It works in binary. On or off. 1, 0. Yes, no. So if you find something aesthetically pleasing, you do find it physically attractive. Wow, that was a rant. Boy. So the whole thing that I'm trying to get at with all of this is there's a lot of people out there who do not have the same psychological values that, like, say I do, right? Because to me, personally, I value emotional intelligence, and I value, so like, for you, Panda, if we had like a tier list of like things that you find attractive in a partner, right? If we go by the 3 that we were talking about, mental, physical, emotional. Okay? If you find someone mentally attractive and emotionally attractive, then finding them physically attractive is kind of a bonus. Right? Same way if I find someone mentally attractive and sexually attractive, finding them emotionally attractive, bonus. Right? But your brain doesn't need it. Like that's what I'm trying to get at, right? So, for me, right, I find my partner sexually attractive, and I find them mentally attractive. Right? I also find my partner, like, emotionally attractive, but that's a bonus. Okay? And if you have differing tier systems, too, in a partnership, it changes things, right? So you say, Mental first, then emotional, then physical. Perfect. Great. Okay? Now, if your partner is the reverse of that, let's say they're physical first, emotional second, mental third, there's going to be conflict between how you guys feel. Right? Because to them, emotional's on the bottom, and for you, or mental's on the bottom, and for you, mental's on the top. So they're not going to see it as a very important thing, whereas you see it as a very important thing. Right? And during that time, you're going to constantly be speaking down to them about it, and they're constantly going to be speaking up to you about it. Them saying it's not that important, and you saying it's extremely important. And the reverse is also probable, where you find physical less appealing, and they find physical very appealing. Right? They're going to constantly be worried about their physical appearance and that they find you physically attractive. Right? Whereas you're not really super worried about it. Right? You might want to appear physically attractive yourself, but you're not really worried if your partner's physically attractive. So if they go out of their way to make themselves look very physically attractive, you can appreciate it, but it doesn't really matter to you. Right? Am I making sense here? Right? So you've got this cross-wiring. So the only thing that you two connect on in the exact same way is emotional. Right? So you two won't butt heads on the emotional connection. But you will butt heads going this way. Now, if I use me and my partner as an example, okay? I would say that for me, personally, I will out myself for this. I was a gymnast for 18, 20 years. I was around a lot of physically fit human beings, both men and women. Right? I need to find somebody physically attractive. I have to. Right? So, for me personally, I would argue that physical and mental, for me, like, constantly swap places every once in a while. Right? Sometimes mental's on top, sometimes physical's on top, but always emotional's down here. Emotional's always number 3 for me. And these two kind of play fucking ring around the rosy. My partner, on the other hand, is much more about... Emotion is, like, way up here. Okay? Then mental, then physical. So sometimes me and her connect on the mental part. But other times, we're talking in a weird fucking web the entire time. Because none of our things line up properly. Which does lead to conflict. I'm not going to deny that. It does lead to conflict between the two of us. However, the difference in making a partnership work is understanding that about the other person. Right? And trying to work with them. Right? And that's how partnerships actually work. Right? Up here in your brain chemistry, it works one way. But you also have this weird quasi thing called psychology and your id, ego, and whatever else to kind of dictate certain things to you. Right? So, sure, I might be very physically attracted to my partner, and for her, physical attraction is kind of a meh. It's a bonus for her. No, so the 3 type of egos, there's id, ego, and superego. Id, ego, superego, yeah. That's what they are. Those are Freudian terms, by the way. I'm just using them because it's the easiest way to describe what I'm talking about. Oh my god. Why did you need to put that shitpost in my chat? Why did you need to put a Russian Badger shitpost in my chat? Absolute fucking galumph. Sorry. Focusing really, really, really hard right now. Oh, God. No, no! I have half a heart and a fucking dream. Let's go. Oh, you beautiful bastard. You actually gave me some fucking health. Anyway. But yeah, sorry. I'm sorry that I went on my big long tirade about like neurology and like how humans, like how attraction works for humans, but it's fascinating to me. And I will apologize though, because I do know that some of the shit that I talk about can be very, I don't want to say triggering, but can be very, how do I put it? I seriously got a devil deal while I'm carrying fucking Maggie's book. Okay, because I'm gonna go back to the thought experiment, because all of this was leading up to me talking about the fucking thought experiment. Yes, I mean Book of Virtues. Okay, so here's the thing. Or not Maggie's book, it's Bethany's book. So here's the thing that I was talking about. This was a question that was posed in a psychological journal. I'll see if I can find it and post it. But the question was, if you are attracted to your partner in all three ways, physically, emotionally, psychologically, okay? And the only thing that changed about them, was their genitalia. Because this is something that actually comes up in psychology a lot, right? Would you still see them as a viable partner in all three places? Or would they transition from being sexually attractive to just emotionally and mentally attractive? I know you'd manage, but you're in a very unique situation. I'm pretty sure your partner would be pleased too if their genitalia just spontaneously changed. No offense to your partner meant whatsoever. That was meant as a joke. Oh, she'd be fucking stoked. Yeah, I know she would be. Get fucked, you little shits. And that's the thing. You're not really sure because obviously because it's a hypothetical question. You can't know. But that's the really crazy kind of fun quirky part. Is most people who had been in a long-term relationship with their partner said, yeah, they'd be fine. Well, this is just fucking funny. Oh my fucking god. A key bomb? You give me the rarest fucking bum character. Blind when I don't want it. No, and that's the thing. Okay? So, and I talked about this with my partner because it was something that we talked about because it's an interesting concept. And I don't mean... So here's the thing. They specifically talk about genitalia. Okay? They're not talking about a full sex change, like, everything. They're literally just talking about genitalia. So, like, if I was talking about, like, my partner, right? She would go from where she is now, with the genitalia that she has, to the genitalia that I have. Right? And that's it. She would still have breasts, she'd still have long hair, she'd still have the same face. Like, none of the other physical characteristics would change whatsoever. Right? And I brought it up to my partner, and she was like, I'm honestly not sure, because, like, one of the big things about, you know, sexual attraction is, well, sex. Right? Surprise, surprise. Kind of important to people. And that's the thing. I don't know how I would feel about it either. Plain and simple. Sorry, I gotta friggin' stop and read that. Blah, blah, blah. That is a genuinely funny way of looking at it, kinda. Not an unhealthy way of looking at it at all. That is just genuinely very funny. I like that. And, like, that's the thing. Like that's just wholesome. I'm sorry, that's just wholesome. I don't care what you say. That's just funny and wholesome. Why does this look like I need to, like, be turning something on? Get wrecked. And the funniest thing about all of this is my partner doesn't struggle with this at all. She would not struggle with this dilemma at all. Because to her, sex is kind of anathema. It doesn't really matter to her. Like, it does, but it doesn't. It is very low on her tier list of things. That's so fucking funny. Dude fixes his jaw. But see, here's the fun part. That might also be why you're willing to make it work. Is because you're a sexually inclined person. Like, and that's what I mean. Like, it's why the psychology is fun, all in and of itself, is because, like, there's so many other reasons that you might be okay with it or not okay with it. And to be fair, Panda, we have definitely stated that you are straight, but you are also not the straightest fence post in the world. I think our mutual friend called me quite a few times a service sub waiting for his... Good God. Which mutual friend? I'm trying to think of which mutual friend. Oh, okay, I was like, which mutual friend between me and you? I was like, there's only one person that I can think of that would ever say something like that to you. That's funny. But yeah, like that's the thing for me is like this sort of like conversation and talk about like neurology and like just how human brains work is so utterly fascinating to me. And like why some of it works the way it does, why certain people have certain things, right? Like one of the things that I thought was super, super interesting is two people who are, let's say, sexually attracted to each other and mentally attracted to each other, but not emotionally attracted to each other, are more likely to display symptoms of psychopathy or sociopathy in both of them. Because to them, they don't feel emotions the same way that a standard person does. So they don't really bond emotionally because they don't have that setup in their skull. So some of the most stable couples can sometimes be people who are literal psychopaths. And it's fucking fascinating. And I should clarify, when I talk about the term psychopath, I am talking about the clinical psychological term. I'm not talking about the sensationalized media version of psychopaths being like serial killers and crazy and all this shit. I'm talking about the people who just genuinely just do not have the same brain chemistry as other human beings. That's all I am talking about. And it's one of the things too that most people with psychopathic tendencies, or people that are like just true diagnosed psychopaths, oh, don't get me wrong, people that are psychopaths are extremely manipulative. Like, they are just inherently very manipulative. Oh my god. It's here, guys! The best item, but we can't use it! Yeah, but I want to keep the Giga Bean because it's going to help me a lot in this fight. Nope, I'm doing this on Locks right now, so we're trying to do this the real way. I can't right now. That's the problem. I can't pause the game and... Just gotta wait for the Larrys. Ow. Ow. Okay, I've gone quiet for a little bit here, just trying to make sure I get through boss rush. Okay, so here's the thing. We want Carrion Queen to create red poop. There we go. Because believe it or not, even though the red poops respawn, we always get poop out of them. And the red poops fucking hurt. I'm quite literally just letting the red poops kill her. I will read that in a second, I apologize. Does this mean I'm just now a stool? It's your birthday tomorrow? Happy birthday, my man. Yes, happy early birthday. You're gonna be an old man. You're gonna be a quarter century old. Beat day, not birthday. Poor Dingle can't even get to me. Get it. I'm about to now just sit here and spawn as many of these guys as I can. Oh, okay, I can only have so many of the red poops. Yeah, they just don't last forever. But apparently they hurt. Wow, these things have a lot of health. It just withstood a Mama Mega Blast. Why am I giving myself Bozo? I know it drops a rainbow shit. You can't have poop, then you have Bozo. But that's the thing, like, I don't want to be giving myself a bunch of items. I want to try and do this as cleanly as possible. I think the only item I've given myself so far has been the one knife piece, because I just was stupid and got caught up talking. Also, I'm gonna be real, I definitely think that my, my watch counter, like who's watching me, is broken. According to this, it says I have 9 people watching me. And I mean, if I have 9 people watching me, that's awesome. Hello. Oh. Yeah, it's really weird. It's like one of those things that I wish I could like just reset every once in a while and be like, hey. Oh my god, these guys fucking shoot at me too? That's fucking annoying. Frickin' brick. Okay, I've got 10 keys. I can let Keybum have a few. Actually just 3 people. I wouldn't, yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's been bouncing around saying, like, there's 9 or 10 people watching me, and, like, you know what? If it thinks there's 9 or 10 people watching me, great, cool. As long as the algorithm actually thinks that, and it's not just, like, lying to me. Because if the algorithm thinks that, and it's putting me on more people's pages because of it, then great, cool. I'm okay with that. I don't want it to think that I am cheating, because I definitely haven't. Yeah, but I'm not trying to do that. Like, that's the thing. I'm not trying to, like, cheat the system or, like, make it think that there's, like, more people or, like, I'm paying for it. It's literally, like, stream elements. We're just gonna do that. Fucking kill this guy. I need 2 more. Hey, there you go. There's the rainbow poop. Oh? Are they really that difficult? I've never played GTA, so I really don't know. I really dislike Rotgut. He is not a fun character to try and be. That just looks like a ball sack, I'm sorry. That just looks like a paratesticle. One second, guys. My partner just got home. Yeah, I'm not too sure why they would have done that. It's very odd. Oh yeah, wafer is super perfect for this. Now I just gotta get the health. If you haven't noticed, I tend to take a lot of really stupid damage. Jesus. Because it could be used there. That could be inherently dangerous, but we'll try it. Yeah, no. We're gonna try and take as much health away from you guys as soon as possible. Perfect. I need to try and find more HP. Plain and simple. Don't really want that. I don't like just randomly taking damage. Oh boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Dry baby. Fuck. Alright, well at least we spawn now a fair amount of flies. A judgment card can also be really good depending... Ow! On the judgment type. It's a good judgment type. Perfect. Full HP, essentially. Ooh, we got dark shits. Look at them. Okay, I think we're about as ready as we will ever be. Now we are as ready as we will ever be. Woo! Ah, shoot. I always get frickin' hit by this. Ouch. Man, I have survived so much just because of Old Bandage and Wafer. Already done that. Magdalene is done.
Isaac, what are you drawing?
Alrighty. Oh, I didn't mean to start that one. I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick, guys. I will be right back. Alrighty guys, sorry that took so long. I apologize. I've got to end stream here. We've got got some stuff hitting the fan right now with the wedding coming up. So I'm gonna go raid somebody real quick, and I'm gonna be on my way, and I will see you guys on Monday. I apologize that it's so abrupt, but I gotta run away.
I'll catch you later. Alright, bye, Taco. Thanks for coming in and thanks for the bits.